first thing we mentioned is to understand that there is what I'm calling an alchemical aspect to your training. Okay? What I mean by that is that your training involves almost numerous aspects that come together to make your practice. So there's going to be not only the positioning of my body, but also my thoughts, my feelings, and you go deeper, my sleep patterns, my nutrition, my relationships, my worldview, my perspectives. All of these things go into what we call a practice. It's not just my intellect, okay? And the reason they all go in is because they are concentric to each other. So the state of being that I'm in is in all of those things, and therefore a transformation of my being must involve all of those things, okay? And they will interrelate in ways that us moderns do not accept because we are secular materialists, we're scientistic, and our religion is that, all right? You want a new way of being, you need a new way of being, which means you need a new way of thinking, okay? So just to have this for your sake, certain senses, certain feelings, certain moods, certain perceptions manifest in certain parts of the body in certain ways. The ones we mentioned so far is a psycho-emotional concern with the opinions of others, of ourselves, will manifest with tension in the lower legs, okay? So you always look like you're high on the mat, always high, it looks high. There's a tension that brings the foot bones together like this, and then a tension in the calf muscles and an extension in the knees. The back of the knees go backwards. This is related to that concern with the opinion others have. So as you're training, you want to make sure that those areas of your body have released. To release that, you're going to have to release that psycho-emotional, egocentric aspect, okay? So keep those foot bones wide. We also know, in order to do the internal aspects of the art, I need to be able to have energy go all the way to the ground so that it can rebound out, and tension in the lower legs and foot bones do not allow that. It just stops it. You start adopting bracing angles, okay? All right. When I do the move, think of it as a knife fight. And in a knife fight, I don't want my arms out. I don't want my arms out away from my body. It makes them vulnerable. So arms are in. And arms are in towards the center. Watch this kind of Hollywood stuff where your sword is out. You see what it does to my left elbow. It also exposes this. Okay? It exposes this to being pinned, and now I can't get the sword out. I want to operate on the center line of my body. And my elbows are in. Elbows in. Now start to identify the correct moves by the tension. All the while we are today paying attention to the lower legs. Okay? So, sword is going to come out in a tension-free manner. When you feel the tension start to develop, that's where you go to the next move. Okay, so this was all tension-free. You can see it's very easy to come out. And somewhere about here, I start to feel tension in the upper left quadrant. So I'll exaggerate that move, and you see what it starts to do to my right scapular mechanism. That's tension. Before you get there, on the eve of getting there, you come up. Whoa. So here I am, keep going, tension. Stay here and you come up. You can come up a little bit more, bring the sword out a little more. If I keep going, you'll see I'll get that same tension in the right scapular mechanism. So it goes here. Not here. Not there. Out. It's at this point that the left hand is going to take over. So the left hand is going to take the sword off. And you'll see, if I keep going here, I'm going to get that same tension in the left scapula. You'll feel it in your grip, but you can't get it out, okay? So on the eve of getting there, that's when you start to turn this side. So it's monitor for tension. Lower legs, because that's part of our training today. Foot bones. Monitor for tension. The reason I'm letting the sword drop is that you can tell the sword is free. I'm not pulling the right hand to get the sword free. So I'll move the right hand to here, and then it turns and the sword is free, hence it drops freely. In contrast, I'm here, sword's not dropping, and I have to pull it out with the right hand. That's going to bring the tension back into the right body, into the right scapular mechanism. So, very release, very relaxed, and it'll just drop. As you're doing this, pay attention that the left hand does not prematurely grab. It has the same concern with tension as the right hand does. So some of you are almost putting yourself in Nikyo with this grab like this. So you're grabbing here. But this grip is not the grip you want on the Koiguchi. You want to be able to be on the lips of the side. Right here. Not over here like this. Okay? So on the lips. Well, there's no way you can grab that at the beginning because the tsuba is in the way. So you know what? Don't grab it yet. Just move the sword with your thumb, and my left hand keeps moving until it gets itself in position. You can see if you're holding this angle there, you're getting a kind of nikyo. But if you start to bring it up, you get rid of that nikyo. Do you see that? So when do you think you bring it up? When the right hand is coming up. Got it? So you don't want to hold it here. It's, oh, this is all tense. There's so much friction on the sword. There's tension over here. And guess what? My feet are tense, okay? Because I know I'm messing up, and I know what my teacher's thinking of me right now, okay? Let it all go. So all relax, relax, relax. It comes up. Comes up. Do you see? Comes up. Turn and let the sword drop. Okay, let's try that Nukitsuke again. Go. Okay. If you can't feel the tension, which is very common, right? Because we're tense all the time. So our body acclimates to it. I can't feel that, ooh, I have this egocentric concern of everyone's opinion of me. You can't feel it, you just go on living life that way. So you also don't feel your legs like that all the time. You don't feel it. You might stumble and trip because obviously that affects balance, but you don't really pay attention why. You certainly don't connect it to that mood, okay? So let me give you some markers here. And you can start by the reverse. So first of all, we're doing it from a natural stance because you oftentimes can cheat by moving your hip off. So you're in a kama-en, you can kind of turn your hip out to give you freedom that you require because of the tension that you're putting into your draw. So for example, tension, you see, and if I pull the right hip out, then the sword came out. So we're leaving our hips neutral to make sure that we're doing the technique right, okay? That's the drill. It also allows us to work on those lower legs, okay? If I can't feel the tension, you can know on your body, you can mark on your body where the sword does what, okay? Oh, you just have to start at the end. So on this Nukitsuke, we're doing the first cut of Shohato. So that sword has to be below my shoulder because coming up it's going to be in my deltoid. And it's going to be a 45-degree angle forward because, again, I'm not going to open up this whole thing and stick my limb out any further than I have to in a knife fight. So it's going to be at a 45-degree angle, and my fist is going to be just slightly below my shoulder to not activate the deltoid, okay? So in order to get there, if I lift this and get that tension there, this sword is to continue would be really high, or you're going to have a wave in your cut as you lower the sword back down, you see, like this. And we don't want to do that. So you want to end up here, flat wrist, and you have some spectrum that the tip of my sword can be no further in than the inside of my tsuba and no further down than the bottom of my tsuba. Okay? That is what you're trying to do. And if you realize where you are, you're going to realize that this cannot go higher than around lower sternum solar plexus level. So I will demonstrate that the tension shows up there. I go here, okay, there's the tension. Oh, and I come up, okay, and I keep going, there's the tension again, and I'm up above the lower sternum solar plexus level. If I keep that cut even, you're going to see I'm activating the deltoid. So this is done lower. Lower. The same thing, if I didn't do the cut, the sword would have dropped to show that it was free. To do the cut, you want it completely free of the saya. Completely free, that's where the cut comes. Release the tension. Right now, don't put any oomph into it. Oomph is not under our control yet. It's still got a lot of ego and a lot of tension. So we're just monitoring for tension. Cool. Okay, let's try. Okay, so now we're going to add some power, but you have to monitor. If you're adding so much power that you go to lock your legs up, not correct. Or you bring the tension back into, not correct. But try to tempt yourself with the tension and the locking the legs up, okay? So you're going to do boom, pop, and we'll do the shomen. And as you come to do the shomen, watch your body mind doesn't start going power, power, kill, kill, power, power, because those lower legs are going to tense on you, okay? So release. 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 Keep your foot bones spreading on the cut. Okay, try it. And now we'll go over the Noto. And the same principles are going to apply. Let me have you over here on this side, please. The same principles are going to apply. it's a knife fight, so don't stick things out. Okay? Work on your center line. Watch for tension. And we are concentrating on that lower leg, foot tension, and the psycho-emotional concern with the opinion of others. Okay? So I'm doing the drill, very relaxed. Here, Noto. I'm going to bring everything back to where it started. Again, don't Nikyo yourself. Relax. Bring it back to where you started. Bring it back to your center line. Keep the Koiguchi grip. One. This hand is what is keeping the sword parallel. In particular, this pinky and this thumb. Not this ledge. Do you get it? That ledge does not work, and you know it doesn't work, which is why you start grabbing at this thing. This allows the sword to move. I can move this sword, and I can re-grip the sword, okay? When I go like this, that's not gonna work. I'll bring it to your center. Keep this going at a 45-degree angle. Don't bring it to 90, because now your arm is sticking out, okay? And you have a lot of yin energy here. A lot of yin energy for a sword fight. So, boom, goes out to the 45. Now you're like, ooh, well, that's where it stops. And the left hand picks up. So the left hand is gonna pick up, going back, turns at the tip. Back in and down to release the tension in the shoulder mechanisms. So I'm doing the drill, boom, up, boom, and don't start tensing up here. Relax, boom, down. The down gets rid of the Nikyo, okay? Here, relax, boom, turn, down. Okay, let's try.